Well, hey there, welcome to day 909 of What's She Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, documenting my journey as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business. Lessons learned, mistakes I've made, things that have blown up in my face that I spent a lot of time and energy on, and I encourage you to not do those things. Mistakes I've made that have cost me years of time and energy that really didn't pay off for the amount of effort that was put into it, so that you don't have to make those mistakes. Today I'm thinking about simple and easy. I just shared on the Get Up and Go Challenge page. We're starting a new Get Up and Go Challenge on August 1st, a 30-day challenge. I prefer longer challenges because it really separates the serious people from the people that are just looking to get a quick fix from somebody's promotional material. Talk about that a little bit, and I'm sure I'll talk about it more during the challenge as well. But I did commit that I want to do 10-minute segments or less every day, and so I have to rethink how I'm doing it, because I just talked for 20 minutes on the preliminary page about 5 steps to get what you want, and I call them simple steps. I was thinking easy steps to guarantee you to get what you want, but that got me thinking about simple and easy. Sometimes we absolutely positively as human beings make our lives way more complicated than we have to. We as human beings make everything more complicated than it has to be. And I, with my nerdy engineering background and learning theories and science and math and advanced topics and detailed topics, am a queen of that. And I've learned that the simpler I make things, the more basic, the more foundational, because there are threads of what works through everything. So one of the examples of that is this, 5 steps, and it can be 4 or 5 steps to getting what you want and guaranteeing that you get what you want. It's simple and it can be easy, but guess what? We always try to overcomplicate it and make it harder than it has to be. Instead of saying, hey, here's the 4 steps, just do them, and then going out and figuring out a way to make it happen, because how we actually implement anything is different for each and every one of us. And it's all based on our past experiences. What's worked, what hasn't, are we willing to try? A lot of people are willing to try one thing one time, and if it doesn't work, they just quit and give up. Other people, we all have a tolerance for how many different things we'll try before we quit and give up. Some of us are really tenacious and we just keep going and going and going and going ad nauseum to other people because they prefer to feel better and quit and say it's impossible. I love that somebody came up with the impossible is I am possible. I love that because I've always felt that nothing's impossible. And my dad taught me as a little girl, and my whole life, there's no such thing as can't. And that means, I might say I don't want to. I may say I'm not willing to put in the effort. There's very few things that are impossible for us to find a way to make happen in one way or another. And remember, it doesn't have to be us, you or me, personally doing the thing that we want to make happen. So one of the examples people always say whenever I say there's no such thing as can't, well, I'm a man, I can't have a baby. I'm, 5'1.5", I can't be a basketball player. How do you know? If you wanted to be badly enough, no matter what your height, no matter what your weight, you could figure out what you needed to do to make that happen in your life. Now, are you gonna? Probably not, because if you're 5'1", you know that the competition and the physical relationship is something that you're probably not gonna choose to pursue that as your lifelong ambition or goal. But I guarantee if you made that your lifelong ambition or goal, you could find a way to succeed in that arena. And maybe it's to become a sports agent for all of the tall people. And it's changing and defining the way we define success for each and every one of us. So talking about the 5 steps for the Get Up and Go Challenge, and then how am I gonna break that down into 10-minute or less segments, and then an action item, which it's easy. I'm sure I can do it. I've done it hundreds of times before. So I just keep reminding myself, hey, not so many examples, don't talk so much. That's the biggest one. And to keep it simple, because simple and easy gets done. Complicated, never gets done. I think of a couple of the resources and different things that I've learned in courses I've learned from experts and gurus, some of my favorite people of all time, and they'll come out, Jack Canfield comes to mind. I love Jack Canfield, right? But he comes out with a book this thick on his success principles, and it took me, I probably had that book for 5 years before I read it, because I knew that the subject and the way he was breaking it down was way complicated, way more complicated than it had to be. And I think Jack knows that too, but he was trying to appeal to a broader audience with more. There was this whole belief that more is better, right? You know, buy one, get one free. We've been convinced that more is better. Guess what? More is not always better. I gained more weight. That doesn't feel better to me. I got twice as much of something and it costs less, but it's more than I can ever use in a lifetime. It's the, you know, the Sam's and the Costco model, you know, you have to buy everything in bulk. Well, I've learned over the years, as it's gone from my family down to just me for the most part, it's a lifetime supply of something if I buy it at Sam's Club or Costco. So I do less and less and less of that. We need to do what's right for us in any situation. So simple and easy is something I aspire to now. And as I get older, it's really interesting. The older I get, the more I want to simplify certain things and aspects of my life. I don't need all the stuff that I used to surround myself with. You know, when you go from raising your kids to being a grandparent, you need a lot less stuff than you used to have. And so I'm really enjoying that. And you know, the whole drive to just more this, more that, hustle, grind, I don't believe it anymore. Did I believe it and did it almost kill me? Absolutely. But that's probably why I don't believe it anymore. I learned what is right for me and I live in accordance with that instead of what everybody else thinks I should do or how the world works. Guess what? You decide how your world works, and that's all that matters. And of course, you're deciding in a way that doesn't negatively impact other people. Fun challenge today was about the greatest. What are you the absolute greatest at? What is your strength? And Supersize Your Business was about buying a pig in a poke. And I heard the expression, but I never knew what a poke was, and I never knew really what it meant. But it means to buy something sight unseen. Now with COVID-19, almost all of us have bought something or are buying things almost every day or weekly or whatever, sight unseen. If you've ever been to a drive-up window, they hand you a bag, which a poke is a bag. They hand you a bag with your products or services in it, your products in it, your food. You drive away only to get 5 miles down the road, and as you're opening the bag, you realize that you have a fish sandwich instead of a Big Mac or whatever. It's just an example. And you're like, all right, I'm 5 miles away. Is it really worth the 10 miles plus frustration to wait in that line again to go back and get my Big Mac, or am I just going to eat a fish sandwich today? If I don't have a fish allergy, which I don't, I'm going to eat the fish sandwich, and I'm just going to keep moving on. And I'm probably just going to forget about it because I'm going to eat how many more hundreds of thousands of meals in my lifetime. And I forget to do that full circle and let the business know, hey, you guys are totally screwed up. I ordered a Big Mac and I got a fish sandwich. This isn't okay. And you don't do it because you're expecting anything in return. You do it because you want to give people the feedback so they can make sure that their systems are in place and they don't make those mistakes for other people, right? Or in place. I expect that in my interactions with people too. I always expect if I do something wrong or if somebody isn't satisfied with the way I deliver something to them, that they're going to tell me first. But most people, what they do is they tell 20 friends and they never call McDonald's and say, hey, you screwed up my drive-thru order. But they tell 20 friends, and now you've got how many people can multiplies over and over and over again that have the wrong story. Thousands of people that drive-ups are always screw up your order. It's always wrong because you're buying a pig in a poke, something sight unseen. I do love that idiom though, especially now because so many of us are buying things online and on the internet. And sure, the vast majority of businesses are awesome and good and delivering exactly what they say they're going to deliver to you. And then there's others that just don't and are out there to scam and steal your money. And guess what? That's always been around. If it's been around since the 1500s, that some unethical farmers were cheating people by putting cats or runt pigs in a bag and not showing it to the person before they bought it and figuring they had one up on them, that's just ingrained in human behavior. And so we want to look out for it. We want to make sure that the people that interact with us are getting exactly what they expect. And that, number one, that we set their expectations right, but then that we're delivering what we say we're going to deliver. So I'm thinking about easy and simple today, and how do I continually simplify things so that people will take action, simplify things so that I'll take action. I think the reason I love challenges so much is because I break things down into a simple step, a simple thing that I can do easily every day. And if it's simple and easy and I can build it into my daily routine somehow, if I can build it into my morning routine or my meal routine or my exercise routine or my business, hey, I'm going to do this every day now and test this out. If I can build it into something I'm already doing, I know that I'm going to get the result I want, and it's going to be successful. I'm going to get the result that I want faster than if I don't find a way to build it into either my routine or somebody I work with's routine to make sure that the job gets done, the task gets done. So that's what I'm thinking about today. I'm up at the cabin with my amazing youngest sister, and we're hanging out, just the two of us, and it's pouring rain out, so I don't know what we'll do. We'll find something fun to do today. But that's what I'm working on. I'm working on the next Get Up and Go challenge. And if I can help you in any way, ask in the comments below. If you want to know what the 5 steps are to guarantee to get whatever you want, I talked for 20 minutes on it, which is probably a lot. But I was trying to give stories and examples. So say there's something that you want and you're like, I just frickin' don't know how I'm going to get this. Just ask in the comments below and we'll work it through an example so that you can know exactly what you can do and how you can do it to get exactly what you want. So that's it. Have an amazing day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow, letting you know how I'm going from the offline world to the online world, what's working, what's not, and how might you learn from the lessons I've learned so that you don't have to learn them all yourself. Whenever we can shortcut a process and model somebody else, that's an awesome way to learn. We don't want to copy anybody and do exactly what they're doing, but if we can learn in one area of our aspect of our life what works and what has worked for other people, then we know with 100% certainty that it can work for us. If I'm modeling someone, say I'm modeling Russell Brunson in something that he does online, well, I know the guy's made $1 billion plus or billions of dollars online through his companies over the last decade. Why would I not want to model and learn what works for him with respect to business? And he's Mormon, so I'm never going to copy him or model him for his religious beliefs, but I am going to model him for anything, and not for anything, but for things that he says in the area of his expertise, marketing and communicating and helping people to get the word out about what it is that they do. But we're not going to model somebody for everything. You know, it's like I followed Tony Robbins for, probably 40-some years. I've been a Tony Robbins, not a fan, but I followed him and learned from him and been mentored by him. And will I follow him for everything that he does? No, absolutely not. But in the area of personal development and, you know, what's possible for me as a human being, I totally listen to Tony Robbins and several other people as well. But I don't copy everything that they do. I just pick and choose what's right for me. And those are the things I add and implement into my life. All right, have an amazing day. I will be with you tomorrow. Bye.